Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raka Satria Zidan Aryan. I'm from class 8.3 and my absent number is 28. Today, I'm going to be explaining about the material of passive voice. So, first of all, what is passive voice? Well, passive voice is a type of voice and is the exact opposite of the active voice. The active voice is the definition in which someone describes their action or something describes their action. The active voice to before you need to understand the passive voice, you first need to understand the active voice. So the active voice is made up of three things, which are the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject does the verb to the object. An example of an active sentence would be I cook the food. I, meaning me, would be the subject. Cooked, meaning make, would be the verb, and food, well, being food, is the object. I cook food is an active sentence. If you want to turn it into a passive one, it'd be the food was cooked by me. So, now that you understand both of them, I'm going to define what passive voice actually is. So, passive voice, like I just said, was like the food was cooked by me. But if you don't know the subject for whatever reason, you can also remove the subject. And that would make the sentence, the food was cooked. There are three main reasons why you want to use a passive voice. The first one is you don't know the subject. Like I just mentioned, the food was cooked by me. Second one, you don't want to mention the subject. Even if you know the subject, you might still don't want to mention it in your sentence because it can be weird or just not that important. And the third reason is the object is more important than the subject. In these three situations, you can remove the subject entirely from the sentence, only including the verb and the object. So now that we know that, let's um, let's decompose of what a passive voice is made out of. So while an active voice is ordered from subject, verb, and object, the passive voice is the complete opposite of that. The passive voice is compiled of the object, the to be, which is usually was, were, and also the subject. So after I mentioned that, you probably realize that they're the exact opposite. The subject is in the front, the subject is in the back, while the object is in the front of a sentence. So now that we know all of that and we know what passive voice is, you may be wondering to yourself, how can we turn an active sentence into a passive one? So I'm going to describe step by step of turning an active voice, an active sentence into a passive one. So listen carefully. First of all, you have to swap the objects and the subjects, so the subject is in the back and the objects in the front. After that, you have to make the verb 3, and you also have to add by after the verb, and also was or were, depending on the amount of objects or amount of subjects. So imagine I fed the fish, I feed the fish, if because that's a simple present. But even if you wanted to turn it into a past one, you'd have to make it into a past sentence. So I fed the fish. Wait, no, the fish was fed by me. You see that? the feed becomes the verb 3, which is past uh, past tense. So yeah, that's my material on the passive voice. That's I hope you learned something in this time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.